Well guys, I hope you're hungry because I have 3 new recipes to share with you and I'm really excited because they are all inspired by pumpkin. I tried to make these recipes really easy and also so they don't taste like straight up pumpkin, like you just have a pumpkin that you opened up and you're just digging in and eating raw pumpkin. So 2 of these recipes are for you hungry, healthy, happy people out there, and then the last recipe is a treat because I think it's always great to indulge every now and then, and it's really about finding a balance that works for you. So yeah, let's get started. All right, first up, we're gonna be making a vegan pumpkin spice smoothie. So for this recipe, you will need some vanilla almond milk, half a banana that's been chopped up and frozen, pumpkin puree, some maple syrup, and some pumpkin spice to give us that nice flavor. All right, it's time to put everything into the blender. So I have the pumpkin pureed ice cubes here. Then I'm going to add in the banana. And then I have my vanilla almond milk and, oh, spilled my maple syrup. All right, cleaned up the maple syrup and I lost about a tablespoon, and you need 1 to 2 tablespoons for this recipe. So I still have a tablespoon here. And then I just have my pumpkin spice mixture here. All right, so this just twists on and then we can just blend it all up. Time to serve it up. So I'm just gonna use my muscles to open this up. Here we go. Whew, that was my workout for the day. And this smoothie is not super thick, which I actually prefer, so that way it doesn't get stuck in your straw. So I'm actually gonna take just a little bit of extra pumpkin spice here in my hands and sprinkle it over the top just to make it look extra pretty. So then you just gotta stick your straw in and you're ready to drink up your smoothie. Now we're gonna be making some power bites, and these are essentially like energy bars, but in bite-sized form. So I have some awesome ingredients here, and they're all filled with really great nutrients. I have some rolled oats, and you wanna make sure that you have the rolled oats and not steel cut because that's just gonna work better for this recipe. Then I have some pumpkin seeds, and these have been shelled. And then I have a handful of dates here, honey, pumpkin puree, chopped dried cranberries, peanut butter, salt, ginger and nutmeg, chia seeds, and some cinnamon. And then I have some coconut oil cooking spray too. We are gonna be toasting the pumpkin seeds, so I just have a tray here that's lined with some foil, and I'm just gonna take my pumpkin seeds and sprinkle them on the tray. And I like using coconut oil because it lends a slight sweetness to the pumpkin seeds, and it also helps the salt stick too. So I'm just gonna spray this across. Now I'm just gonna take a little pinch of salt here and sprinkle it on top of the seeds. So my oven is preheated to 375 degrees, and just as a disclaimer, my microwave doubles as a convection oven. So I don't want you guys putting this in a microwave thinking it's going to work, because foil in a microwave, not good. We don't want that. We don't want any kind of explosions. And you just wanna put them in for about 7 minutes until they start turning golden brown. While those are in the oven, I'm gonna show you guys how to pit a date. And dates are really great because they are filled with lots of potassium, iron, and antioxidants. So you just wanna take a sharp knife and go directly down the center right until you hit the pit, and then it's gonna open up just like that. There's the pit, you just pull it out. Super easy. So I have the pitted dates, which will go right in here. Pumpkin puree, and pumpkin is filled with fiber and vitamin A, C, and E. It's full of lots of good stuff. Then I'm gonna add in my peanut butter, and you can honestly use almond butter for this. You can use any kind of nut butter, or if you're allergic to nuts, you don't have to put this in at all. I just really like the flavoring of it. And then we have the chia seeds, which are filled with omega-3s. So these little guys are very powerful. And last but not least, I have the nutmeg and ginger here and the cinnamon. I'm just gonna add a little pinch of salt too. And we are ready to blend this together. All right, let's open this guy up and see what we have. It looks perfect. So you want almost like this paste-like consistency because this is gonna help bind everything together. All right, so I'm gonna take the mixture here and just dump it into a big bowl. Then I have my pumpkin seeds here. These have cooled a little bit. I'm just gonna dump all of these into the bowl. Then we just wanna dump in our oats and last but not least, the cranberries. Now, to minimize the mess when you're mixing everything together, I would recommend spraying down whatever spoon or spatula you're gonna be using to mix. So then you just wanna come in here and mix everything together. You will be able to tell when it's ready. It just kind of gets a little bit clumpier, and that's what we're looking for. You just want everything to be able to stick. Now I'm gonna be molding this mixture into little balls, and I also like to spray my hands because this, again, will minimize the stickiness. And it's totally up to you as far as sizing goes because you're the one that's gonna be eating them. But I think the little ball shapes are just really fun. When you're finished molding them, you just wanna pop these guys in the fridge for about 30 minutes before you eat them, just so everything can really bind together and they're nice and solid. And then they'll be ready to go and ready to eat. And you can keep these in the fridge for up to 2 weeks, so you can have them as a snack, as a quick breakfast in the morning, as a pick-me-up in the afternoon. They are just awesome to have around because once you make them, you're gonna have them for a while. It's pasta time, guys, which is my favorite time. And this isn't just any pasta recipe. This is a one-pot pasta. Pretty much everything happens in one pot. You're not gonna have a ton of dishes to clean, which is a-okay in my book because I freaking hate doing the dishes. For this recipe, you will need some pumpkin puree, an onion, some vegetable broth, half a cup of white wine, and I'm using a Chardonnay, olive oil, garlic that's been chopped up really finely, some goat's cheese, and this has garlic and herbs infused into it, but you can use regular goat cheese too, that's totally fine. A little bit of salt and pepper, some parsley, I just want to pet the parsley, it's like my little friend. And then I have some nutmeg and red pepper flakes. And since this is a pasta recipe, I have some linguine pasta, but feel free to use whatever shape or kind of pasta you want to use. So I have my onion here and I'm going to be chopping it up. So this is how I chop up an onion. This is the root end here. Here's the top. I cut off the very top. Then I'm going to cut the onion directly in half, and this makes peeling the skin a lot easier. For the chopping, I have the root end here, and you'll see that the onion has these little lines here, and you can actually use those lines as your guideline with the knife. So you want to make sure that your fingers are out of the way, and then you want to start cutting into the onion without going all the way through. You can see how the onion is all sliced here, but it's still being held together by the root. So now all you have to do is come in and just cut the opposite way, and you're gonna end up with perfect little onion cubes. Okay, so I have a big stock pot here, and this is where everything is going to be cooking. So I just wanna dump in all of the ingredients. So onions go in, and then pumpkin puree, garlic, salt and pepper, and then I have the nutmeg and the red pepper flakes. And I really love adding nutmeg to savory dishes. I find that it just adds a really nice little hint of flavor. So I have my Chardonnay here, and you can use any kind of white wine you like. I just like Chardonnay for this particular dish. But if you don't have wine, or if you don't want to use wine, you could use apple juice, white grape juice, maybe dilute it with a little bit of water first, but that will add that sweetness that wine adds to cooking. My olive oil here, and then vegetable broth, and this is gonna be cooking liquid for the pasta, and it's also going to help form the sauce. Last but not least, I have the pasta, and you're just gonna dump the dry pasta into the pot. So now we're gonna go over to the stove with this. I'm gonna turn on the stove to high heat and let everything sit. As soon as everything comes to a boil, you wanna set a timer for 9 minutes. You're really gonna be stirring a lot for the last several minutes of cooking, just to make sure that everything is incorporated evenly and nothing is sticking. The pasta is done, and it's actually still kind of bubbling right here, but you can really see that everything has thickened up. And now, to make it even more creamier, I am going to be adding in the goat cheese. And if you don't like goat cheese, or if you don't have goat cheese, you can use cream cheese. There's also vegan cream cheese available, so if you want to make this a vegan recipe, you can. You can also use ricotta cheese, so there are definitely other options out there. So this just gets added in like that, and I'm just going to mix it all in. When you have everything mixed together, you may notice that it might be a little soupy in consistency, but don't worry, because as the pasta sits, it's going to thicken up a lot. So I think we are ready to serve this up. And there it is, the finished pasta, which is super yummy, and you can keep it as leftovers so you can have it for dinner or lunch for the rest of the week. And I pretty much just have this pot to clean up and my cutting board, and that's it. Pretty awesome. Those are all of my recipes, and I hope you guys enjoyed them. And if you make any of them yourself, make sure you send me a photo on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and use the hashtag #HungryHealthyHappy so I can find your photos and like them and leave comments on them. If you want to watch my last 2 videos, you know what to do. I have box number 1 and box number 2, and you can decide if you want to watch one of my past videos if you missed them. You can also go and watch kitten videos on YouTube too, because there's lots of those. All right, bye.